If you feel like you're far from where you'd like to be, or if it seems like the journey to your goal is a foggy road, rest assured that you're not alone. Many people experience the same doubt, this unease about what they need to change and how to take the first step. But this feeling, although uncomfortable, is also a powerful starting point. It indicates that you're ready for something new, that you're searching for a more authentic and fulfilling version of yourself. And the next few minutes could make a world of difference. I'm going to share 13 simple and effective rules with you that will guide your progress. These rules are based on Stoic principles that are direct and easy to apply, yet profound enough to propel you forward on your journey of growth. Think of these rules as a map showing you the way. Each of them is like a step toward becoming a stronger and more balanced version of yourself. Stoicism teaches us that true change begins within us, in the way we perceive the world, the control we exert over our own reactions, and the clarity of our goals. These 13 rules will be the fuel needed to accelerate your progress and help you build a path that truly reflects who you want to be. Let's start with the first rule, which will surprise you with its simplicity and power. Rule 1. You don't have that much time. We often live as if we have all the time in the world, postponing our dreams and leaving important decisions for later. But this is one of life's greatest illusions. Believing that we always have time in abundance prevents us from seeing that every moment is unique and that time is actually the scarcest and most valuable commodity we possess. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "It is not that we have little time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Every day we let pass without taking action moves us away from who we truly want to be. The truth is that time is limited and passes by without asking permission. The biggest obstacle to achieving your goals faster is precisely the belief that you will have a guaranteed future time. Consider this reality. As the years go by, your obligations grow, and the time you could dedicate to your dreams begins to be divided between commitments, duties, and bills to pay. Later becomes increasingly distant. Waiting for the right moment is a mental trap that creates the illusion that the future will bring better conditions for action. How many times have you told yourself that when you have more time, you'll start pursuing what you really want? That promise is empty, because the truth is, you'll never have more time than you have now. Instead of procrastinating, start now. Every passing day is a unique opportunity to take the first step, to act in alignment with your values, to build something that makes sense to you. Every moment you have is another line in the story you're writing. Life waits for no one. It continues whether we're ready or not. Act now. If this reminder touched you, write in the comments, "I act now." This simple gesture is a commitment to yourself, a promise that you will no longer wait for the ideal moment, and that you will now begin building the life you desire. Rule 2. Don't give up too soon. During the famous gold rush, Mr. Darby and his nephew, full of hope, decided to embark on this journey that promised prosperity. After weeks of hard work and constant physical and mental effort, their determination and perseverance were rewarded. They found a gold deposit. Driven by the excitement of a potential life-changing opportunity, they took out loans to purchase the necessary machinery, believing that success was only a matter of time. But what seemed like the beginning of a promising journey soon proved challenging. With each successive attempt, gold seemed further away, as if it were hiding. Frustrated and lacking confidence in their success, they decided to sell the machinery to a scrap dealer and abandon their dream, which had initially seemed so close. But fate, ironically, has twists and turns in store for those who dare to press on. The new owner of the machines, less discouraged and with a more strategic perspective, brought in an engineer to assess the mine before further attempts. The specialist, with his knowledge and experience, noticed something the Darbys had missed. They had given up only 1 meter from the gold. It was an almost insignificant distance in terms of space, but enormous in terms of perseverance. With this information, the new owner could have gained millions of dollars in gold, which would have been the price of the Darbys' perseverance, had they sought advice and maintained their confidence in the process, even in the face of difficulties. The lesson here is clear and powerful, reflecting the principles of Stoicism. Adversity is a part of every journey, and often we are much closer to the fruits of our efforts than we realize. Giving up too soon is like a slow poison, weakening the spirit and undermining the confidence we have in our ability to achieve our dreams. William James, the famous psychologist, once remarked, "The practice of interrupting things weakens the will to finish them." So when you're about to give up, remember that the answer could be just a step, or in this case a meter away. Consider whether giving up is worth it, or whether perseverance will lead you to some metaphorical goal that only the strong and determined can reach. Rule 3. Your day begins the evening before. Some people let the day pass by like a leaf in the wind, without direction or purpose, while others prepare carefully, planning their hours and making the most of every moment. This difference, which seems subtle at first glance, has a profound impact on life. Planning a day is more than just organizing appointments. It is an act of self-control and discipline, fundamental values in Stoic philosophy. Those who choose planning not only manage to accomplish more in less time, but also experience a sense of calm and balance. The simple act of organizing tasks reduces stress, as it creates a sense of control amidst the demands of everyday life. When everything is structured, actions flow naturally without hesitation or fear of wasting time. Look back at the past week and consider, how often did you really plan the day the night before? This small practice can be the difference between a productive day and one filled with inertia. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, notes that you don't rise to the level of your goals, but rather fall to the level of your systems. This statement carries a powerful insight. There's no point in having big dreams if your daily system doesn't support them. True change lies in creating habits and structures that support what you want to achieve. A principle of Stoicism is to focus on what you can control, and your planning system lies in your decision and discipline. To start the day well, choose an important task and go straight to it. This idea is called eating the frog, a concept popularized by Brian Tracy that refers to tackling the most difficult task first. When you tackle the most difficult task early in the day, you experience a sense of achievement and relief that makes the rest of the day easier. A useful technique for this practice is time blocking, which involves dividing the day into blocks, each dedicated to priorities. This method not only increases productivity, but also strengthens focus and presence in the moment, values highly valued by the Stoics. The morning can start with something simple, a coffee and a few minutes of planning. By dedicating the first few moments of the day to your most important task, you'll achieve a level of productivity that many strive for throughout the day. And by establishing a productive routine, you'll create time in the evening for gratitude and reflection, essential practices for a fulfilling life. This routine not only increases your chances of success, but also changes the way you perceive the world and your own potential. As Stoic philosophy says, true happiness lies not in external events, but in how we respond to them. Rule 4. Choose a goal and train your mind to believe in it with all your might. Choose a single goal and focus on it with your full attention, so that when you think about it, you feel as if you've already achieved it. To achieve this level of commitment, view that goal not just as something you desire, but as something that is already a part of you. This mentality makes a world of difference. As Brian Tracy said, what you intensely visualize and believe with conviction inevitably happens. Believe deeply in that goal, as if it were ingrained in your very being. Many people have dreams, but doubt and fear prevent them from pursuing them with conviction. They let life lead them at random, becoming passengers rather than captains of their own story. Happiness may exist, but it isn't a life strategy. Firm belief, however, is. Most importantly, you don't have to convince the world that your goal is possible. You must convince yourself first. Be clear about what you want. Write this goal somewhere visible and look at it every day. Make it part of your environment. Set this goal as the wallpaper on your phone, your computer, or on a board on your desk. This daily reminder will keep you focused and constantly remind you of the direction you've chosen. Imagine a ship on the ocean. When it sails without a destination, the waves and wind determine its direction. It is pushed wherever outside forces take it. But when the ship has a port in mind, even the oncoming waves serve as part of the path. Every choice, every small action toward your goal becomes a wave, bringing you closer to it. As the philosopher Michel de Montaigne said, "No wind blows against him who does not know where he intends to sail." The power of a goal is just that. It turns every obstacle into an opportunity to move forward and every difficulty into a lesson. We, as humans, have an amazing ability to achieve what we want. But this power only manifests when we have clarity about what we want. Many get lost trying to pursue multiple goals at once and end up achieving none. Doubt and fear distract the mind and cause us to scatter our energy in contradictory directions. If there's one lesson you can remember, it's this: speed comes from focus, not strength. Focus on taking consistent steps toward your goal, even if they're small. Every step you take with intention will take you far. Find inspiration in something that aligns with your purpose. This is the fuel that keeps your fire burning, that reminds you why you're embarking on this journey. Your intuition and intelligence allow you to recognize its worth. Every action that aligns with your purpose is an investment in your future. The more you believe, the closer you get to what you're seeking. Your commitment to yourself is the greatest gift you can give your dreams. It's the connection between where you are today and where you want to be. And if you like the content, consider becoming a member of the channel. In addition to supporting the channel, you'll also receive exclusive content. Click the link in the description and become a member now. Back to content. Rule 5. Double your bet and achieve multiplied results. Think of effort like planting seeds. If you plant a seed today, it might take a while before you see the first fruits, but eventually the plant will blossom and produce a harvest. Now imagine planting 2 or 3 seeds every day. The field will blossom faster and more intensely. This is the power of daily effort, a truth already known to the ancient Stoics. Like a farmer who tends his field, waters it, and nurtures the plants daily, our personal progress is built through continuous dedication. As Brian Tracy said, success is predictable. It is based on universal laws, and one of them is that you reap what you sow. It doesn't matter where you come from, your level of experience or your initial motivation. The math is simple. If we double our daily effort, the results will come in stronger. And this isn't just a quantitative change. Continuous dedication leads to qualitative and transformational change. Think of effort like a car's engine. The more fuel you give it, the more it can accelerate, especially if you make adjustments and keep it in good working order. Likewise, growth becomes more efficient and faster when you focus your time and energy on learning and applying new skills. Something remarkable happens when you use this strategy. Results don't just double, they begin to multiply exponentially. In the medium term, you may see a 4- to 8-fold increase in results because your dedication banishes distractions and avoids wasting energy on activities that don't further your progress. This extra effort creates a cumulative advantage, just as reinvesting profits accelerates a business's growth. The more effort you put in, the more you learn, improve, and grow. Philosopher and thinker Charles Handy put it succinctly: experience makes progress exponential. Accumulating knowledge and experience leads to accelerated growth and deeper understanding in everything you do. When you redouble your effort and focus, every task becomes not just an item on the to-do list, but a learning opportunity. This rhythm of living with disciplined and intentional dedication leads to development that may have previously been unremarkable or small. Each step in this direction builds a solid and fulfilling path. What once seemed like small successes become significant victories that accumulate and multiply, creating a much more rewarding future consistent with your ideals. Rule 6. Learn to reduce the noise. You don't need distractions that drain your time and energy without providing any real value. Social media and the flood of media outlets, with their constant stream of notifications and headlines, consume your attention without truly contributing to your growth or happiness. In reality, they create an illusion of connection and engagement, but at the end of the day, they leave you feeling empty. Stoic philosophy teaches us to distinguish between what's essential and what's superfluous. When you free yourself from these modern vices, you find a clearer purpose for your actions. Living with more intention doesn't mean always doing more. It means simplifying, trimming the excess, ending the need for endless scrolling, and turning off notifications that bring only temporary worry. This digital cleansing creates space for true mental rest and helps you realize how much of your time is wasted on activities that fundamentally contribute nothing to your purpose. Ask yourself, how much of your day do you spend on distractions without feeling like you've done anything productive at the end? Without realizing it, we're tricked into spending hours on empty stimuli that contribute little or nothing to our journey. Imagine using that time to learn, reflect, and grow. Imagine how much richer and more fulfilling your day could be. Cutting back on distractions isn't a loss, it's a gain in freedom and clarity. When you unplug from these distractions, you create space to focus on what really matters. This focus brings inner peace, the feeling of being in control of your life. Away from distractions, you can see your goals more clearly and take conscious steps toward your dreams. By choosing the path of intention, you discover a quiet yet powerful strength. Living intentionally means rejecting what doesn't serve your growth, shielding your mind from superficial stimuli, and directing your time and energy toward what truly matters. This is true power, the ability to direct your life according to your values and ambitions rather than being driven by external demands and distractions. Every time you say no to a distraction, you say yes to building a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Rule 7. Learn to delegate. Many people think that progress is a straight line, a direct path from point A to point B, but in reality, it's much more like a roller coaster, full of ups and downs, unexpected twists and turns. There are moments of euphoria, of making progress, but also times of pause and even apparent setbacks, and it's often in these twists and turns that we must realize that we can't and shouldn't do everything alone. The desire to control every step, to master every task is natural, but it's also an unnecessary burden. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, but also to accept and trust what is in the hands of others. Delegating is the act of relinquishing absolute control and trusting in another person's abilities, knowing that this gives you space to focus on what truly matters. When you share responsibility, you create room to grow in the areas most meaningful to your purpose and well-being. Delegating is more than just assigning tasks. It's a sign of trust and an essential strategy for success. As Brian Tracy said, if you want to be successful, you must learn to delegate and trust others. Successful people know that when they try to do everything on their own, they limit their own potential. They understand that there are others who can perform certain tasks just as well, or even better. This allows them to focus their energy and time on what really matters. Imagine a talented painter who not only creates their work, but also has to manage every aspect of their work: advertising, purchasing materials, delivery, and even cleaning their brushes. How much of their inspiration and creative energy is diverted into activities that others could handle? When they delegate these tasks, they create space to fully devote themselves to their art, where their true talent is expressed. The philosopher John Locke put it well: what is worth doing well, and that doesn't mean doing everything alone, but rather focusing deeply on what you do best and leaving the rest to those who can do it efficiently. Delegating isn't a sign of weakness or dependence. It's actually a sign of intelligence and humility. When you accept that you don't have to carry all the weight, you open the door to personal and professional growth. This simple gesture creates a value chain that not only benefits you, but also gives others the opportunity to develop their own skills. The practice of delegating allows you to preserve what is most valuable, your energy and focus, which you can direct toward your biggest priorities. By freeing up your time to focus on what truly matters, you'll discover a new ease in your journey, never losing track amid the ups and downs of this roller coaster of progress. But there's a catch. If you've been trying to break out of the state of conformity and ignorance for a long time and somehow can't, it could be due to other reasons you may not know. But I know what it is. It's fear. Fear comes like a silent snake and poisons you without you noticing. It keeps you infected for days, months, and even years. And if you have that, it would be like living with illness. But there is a Stoic antidote that, along with modern psychology, can free you from it, just as it freed me. I made a video showing how to get rid of this poison in your life. It's in the first comment. Click the link in the first comment and heal yourself of this poison of fear. Rule 8. Understand your position. Think about two things: what you want to leave behind and where you want to go. Reflecting on this will help you understand what's truly important. First, identify what you want to overcome. It could be fear, limitations you've created for yourself, or the lack of motivation that's holding you back. Next, visualize the place you've always wanted to be, the place where everything you desire happens. Start by focusing on simple, direct steps. Over time, you'll see results and success in your life, but be careful. Initial progress can tempt us to slack off. Sometimes we stop dieting after losing a few pounds, or spend a little more when we're almost even. And even if an opportunity seems perfect, it can derail you from your goals. Gary Keller, in his book The Only Thing, talks about how success comes from focus. So stay on track and eliminate anything that could set you back. When you feel the urge to give up, consider the cost of stopping and the effort of starting again. Imagine you're biking up a hill and decide to stop. Starting again will be much more strenuous. That's why it's important to find ways to stay motivated. Ask yourself, what is your ultimate goal? The goal that makes your heart race. Imagine your life once you've achieved that goal. Think about the impact, not just on you, but also on the people you love. The philosopher Plato said that the best thing we can do for the people we love is to become better people, because we have so much truth to offer. Every day is a chance to create the life you want and positively influence those around you. When we let mediocrity take over, we become inactive and start blaming bad luck, life, or other people, but not ourselves. Over time, even your family and friends may become sad when they see you give up on your dreams. When this happens, you not only lose out, but you also leave a negative example that shows your children what not to do in life. Now consider the opposite. When you persevere, you become a source of strength and perseverance. Instead of being an example of giving up, you become a model of resilience. That's the difference between working to achieve your dreams or doing nothing. The choice is yours. You have the opportunity to create a future of success, positively impact the world, and live a fulfilling life. Remember what you want to leave behind and, most importantly, where you want to end up. This is the path that will lead you to what you know you can be. And if this content helped you, subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and share your story in the comments. Rule 9. Handle a sense of urgency, and swift action often surpasses even the most detailed planning. After all, true learning happens in action, not just in reflection. When we immerse ourselves in practice, we are forced to face challenges and find solutions, and each attempt teaches us something new. Urgency, in turn, forces us to step out of our comfort zone, push past doubt, and take concrete steps, even if they aren't perfect. Successful people understand that they can't wait for the perfect moment. They cultivate a sense of urgency and act as if their lives depend on it. Imagine someone trying to put out a fire. There's no time for extensive planning. The only option is to act, to move forward with determination, improvising if necessary, but always moving forward. When you commit to acting with urgency, your productivity and results multiply. Stoic philosophy teaches us that power lies in the choices we make and the discipline we apply. As Jim Collins says in Companies That Win, greatness is not a matter of circumstances, but of conscious choices and discipline. Living with urgency doesn't mean living with excessive haste, but with resolute positivity, with the clarity that every action matters and every step is an opportunity for growth. The pressure of deadlines and the need to make quick decisions teach us to be agile and allow us to grow at an accelerated pace. Yes, this comes at a cost, as it requires continuous courage to take risks and correct mistakes in real time. But that urgency is the fuel that drives significant change in our lives. Swift action is what turns ideas into reality. Without it, even the best intentions fall by the wayside, lost in deliberation that never materializes. When you embrace a sense of urgency, you let go of the fear of failure and see each attempt as part of the journey. Dedicating yourself to the work, even when you don't have all the answers, allows you to experiment, adjust your route, and learn practically what really works. This is how the Stoics viewed life, with the firmness of people who know they can't foresee everything but have the power to act on what's within their grasp. So instead of waiting for the perfect moment or planning every detail, begin. Take the first step. Even an imperfect action is better than remaining trapped in hesitation. Rule 10. Don't rely on instant results. When you stop expecting immediate results, something incredible happens. You begin to truly commit, trust the process, and understand that progress is built brick by brick. Stoic philosophy teaches us that patience and consistency are powerful forces that allow us to move forward, even when the results aren't yet visible. Think about your first week at the gym. You're giving it your all, feeling the fatigue, the soreness is coming, and it's easy to get frustrated because you haven't yet seen any visible changes in your body. But when you understand that this beginning is part of a long journey, you'll realize that consistency is your greatest ally. If you persevere, knowing that results won't come overnight but over months, your mindset and habits will begin to transform, and little by little, every area of your life will align to support this new commitment. Over time, this commitment to the gym changes your lifestyle. You pay more attention to your diet so you don't jeopardize your progress, you start sleeping better so your body can recover, and you feel more energized during the day. This new habit becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. It becomes part of your routine, an extension of your day. And with each small step forward, your motivation grows. It's the feeling of moving forward, step by step. Philosopher Jim Rohn said that success is not something you pursue, but something you attract by the person you are becoming. This concept shows us that the true value of the journey lies not only in the end goal, but in the transformation that occurs within us along the way. Each day of consistency strengthens the habit, and this cycle of continuous progress becomes a virtuous circle. This principle of patience and consistency applies not only to the gym, but to everything in life. In your job, in relationships, in your studies, it's daily commitment, even without immediate results, that builds a solid foundation. When you stop expecting quick changes and focus on daily growth, you avoid the trap of giving up because you don't see immediate results. Isaac Newton said, "Things are achieved by constant effort." With his scientific perspective, he understood the power of repeated and consistent action over time. Thus, if you are truly committed, you build, step by step, a foundation that nothing can shake. In 6 months, take a moment, look back, and see how far you've come. You'll find that the progress isn't just physical, but mental and emotional as well, because this new mindset of discipline will affect all areas of your life. Stop thinking of progress as something instantaneous and embrace the process as a natural part of your journey. Let each day of commitment accumulate brick by brick. As you integrate the process into your life, the results will come naturally as a reflection of your efforts. Rule 11. Stop comparing yourself to others. Comparing your life to others is like running on a treadmill. No matter how hard you try, you can't move forward because you're trapped in an illusion of progress. This race is endless because the finish line is constantly being moved as new people, new standards, and new achievements appear against which you're supposed to measure your own worth. Every time someone achieves something, you feel compelled to raise your own goal, but true satisfaction never comes. As Theodore Roosevelt wisely said, comparison is the thief of joy. This habit of measuring life by others' standards drains the joy of personal achievements. Instead of wasting your energy competing with others, focus on one simple truth. The only real competitor is yourself. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true peace comes from within, from being content with what we have and the progress we're making relative to ourselves. When we look outside for validation, we abandon our own path and surrender our power to the expectations and judgments of others. Friends, colleagues, celebrities, no matter how inspiring they may seem, each of them is on their own journey, wrestling with invisible battles and carrying their own insecurities. And while we spend time comparing our backstage to others, we're not investing in what really matters: our own development, our inner growth. Looking outside distracts our focus and prevents us from realizing that everything we need is already within us. Freeing yourself from comparisons is like shedding a heavy weight. Imagine how much lighter you'll feel when you stop measuring your worth by the success of others. Instead, invest your energy in yourself. Take care of your body, strengthen your mind, and nurture your passions. It's this inner strength that will not only allow you to move forward with confidence, but also to help others in a genuine way, without waiting for approval or applause. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to cultivate peace in simplicity, letting go, and self-sufficiency. Start by taking care of yourself, for it is the solidity of your foundation that supports everything else. When you practice this freedom from comparison and live for your own growth, you will find the balance that previously seemed unattainable. Sharing this wisdom with those who need it is also a generous act, for many are trapped in this endless cycle, looking outside for what they can only find within themselves. Remember, true happiness lies not in what you prove to others, but in what you discover within yourself. Rule 12. Find a source of truth. Imagine you're on a new and unfamiliar road. You have no map, no GPS, no signposts to guide you. The uncertainty is immense. Every curve, every fork, seems to be a mystery that unfolds with each step. Now imagine that along that journey, someone appears who has walked this same path before. This person, with the experience of what they've already been through, gives you a manual, a guide, to help you avoid the mistakes they made. This manual could be a mentor, a role model, or even a book of wisdom. By learning from this person's steps, you recognize a clearer path, and your chances of success increase significantly. You now have direction, and as Stoic philosophy teaches us, the wisdom of others allows us to move forward more confidently, recognizing the uncontrollable and focusing on what we can change. Napoleon Hill says, "In Think and Grow Rich," that a goal is a dream with a deadline. This deadline is the destination on the card you now hold in your hands. It represents clarity about where you want to go. As with a long journey, it is important to trust the process and stay the course. The temptation to take shortcuts may arise, but wisdom lies in not changing your plan every time you encounter difficulties, but in trusting that, like a tree that needs time to grow and bear fruit, your effort will also require patience. The idea that everything takes time is not just a philosophical musing, but a practice of those who understand that good results come from perseverance and consistency. Imagine baking a cake. If you rush the steps or omit an ingredient, the end result will be compromised. The same is true for your goals. Lacking confidence in the process or giving up prematurely can prevent you from seeing the success that lies ahead. Perseverance is where most people fail. As philosopher Erich Fromm said, the only way to escape a maze is to stop taking the same turns over and over again. This means applying the lessons and making daily effort to move forward. It doesn't matter how many times you feel lost in the process. The key is to keep going, even if the results aren't immediately apparent. If you proceed with discipline, day after day, and believe in the plan you have, progress will be inevitable. The Stoic, who knows that control lies in their actions and choices, is not discouraged by difficulties but sees every obstacle as an opportunity to learn. Success isn't a moment, but a continuous process. Think of a marathon. The runners who cross the finish line aren't the fastest, but those who maintain the pace, who know how to manage their energy and keep going even when exhaustion sets in. Many give up halfway through, but the persevering ones know that the right path is to keep going, to trust the process without rushing. They know that discipline and consistency are more valuable than any hasty effort. So use these teachings as a guide for your life. The knowledge of self-control, emotional intelligence, and success are not just words, but practices that you should apply every day. If you believe in and commit to the teachings, you will find the direction you need to take. And like the Stoic, grounded in reason and truth, you will transform knowledge into results. It's not just about knowing what to do, but also about acting with consistency and courage. The search for wisdom is not a destination, but a journey. And if you commit to walking this path with dedication, the fruits of this journey are sure to appear. May one of the beacons on your path be our contribution to supporting your progress. Rule 13. Learn to surf life with its constant fluctuations and surprises can be compared to a vast and unpredictable ocean. When you try to navigate through life, you quickly realize that swimming against the current is a hard, often fruitless effort. The water, with its force and direction, does not give in easily. Likewise, the challenges that arise along the way, whether professional, personal, or emotional, cannot be simply ignored or fought with blind resilience. They are part of the journey. However, it is possible to learn to ride these waves, adapt to the flow of life, and use adversity as springboards for growth. As the Stoics teach us, we cannot control everything around us, but we can always control our response to what happens. Instead of fighting the elements we cannot change, we can choose to flow with them, like the surfer who harnesses the power of the waves to reach their destination. Surfing life's waves requires more than physical skill. It requires wisdom. You must learn to recognize the waves before they approach, assess their height and intensity, and choose the best time to act. This wisdom comes from understanding that life, like waves, consists of cycles. Some moments are calm, others stormy. The ability to adapt to change, accept uncertainty, and move on without fear of what lies ahead is what enables true growth. John C. Maxwell said, "Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. So instead of fighting the current, learn to harness its power to your advantage, just as the sailor, reading the signs of the wind and water, adjusts his sails to take advantage of what is favorable and sail more effectively." The Stoic philosopher Epictetus teaches us that we cannot change the events that happen to us, but we can always change our attitude toward them. In this context, knowing when to act is just as crucial as knowing when to retreat. If you find yourself in a situation where the CRT TV market has already been overtaken by the innovation of flat-screen TVs, insisting on selling an outdated product will only bring frustration. The Stoic adapts to the moment, observes the new currents, and strategically repositions himself. Life requires us to constantly adapt, to continually learn how to respond flexibly to circumstances. If instead of fighting against the tide you align yourself with it, you can transform challenges into opportunities. Alan Watts said, "You don't become free by changing the world around you, but by changing the way you respond to it." This inner change, this flexibility, creates a state of true freedom and growth. On this journey, you'll realize it's far more efficient to adjust your sails than to waste energy fighting what you can't control. The wind of opportunity will blow from time to time, and if you pay attention, you'll know how to harness it to move forward. Yet there are times when you'll need to paddle under your own power if necessary. That's part of the process. Adapting, flowing with change, and persevering in the face of adversity, even when the wind is unfavorable, is what will truly propel you forward. True growth comes from a deep understanding that life isn't a straight line, but a series of waves and tides. And the secret to navigating well is often simply learning how to surf. Now pause for a moment and set a goal. Put your intention into action, like the surfer watching the wave and preparing to catch the best moment. Once you've taken the first step, come back here and share your story. For it is in action that we begin to learn and grow. Thank you for coming this far. Remember, you have everything you need to surf life's waves with wisdom and courage.